Coming up, why Governor Scott chose Manatee County to sign a new bill to take on the state's opioid crisis. Plus, where hundreds of people are expected to be meeting to discuss affordable housing in Sarasota, and how you can register for TSA PreCheck at SRQ. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story today, Florida Governor Rick Scott on the Suncoast this morning to sign new legislation into law that will combat the state's opioid epidemic. ABC 7's Dwayne Lindo is live in Manatee County, one of the hardest hit areas in the state, with more on what this bill could mean for Florida's medical industry. Dwayne?
Well, Scott, law enforcement from all over the county attended, including municipalities, Palmetto and Holmes Beach, in a county, like you said, that saw more fentanyl deaths than anywhere in the state. This opioid crisis, on average, has claimed so many lives in the county. The governor saying that this was one of the top priorities during session this year. This bill imposes new restrictions on prescriptions and calls for $53.5 million in-state and federal grant funding for treatment programs, as well as updates on the state's prescription database. Most initial prescriptions would have a 3-day limit, but doctors would prescribe up to 7 days for excessive pain. Now, the question is, will this bill make a dent in trying to eradicate the opioid crisis here in Manatee County? We will find out tonight. Scott, back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you so much. Florida school districts could receive more money to hire school resource officers. Florida lawmakers recently approved a $400 million school safety proposal that includes $97 million for more school resource officers and $67 million for the school guardian program. Many school districts say they have no interest in the guardian program, which would allow trained school employees to carry guns on school campuses. Senate President Joe Negron says if there's unspent money in the guardian program, it might be used to hire school resource officers. Voters in Sarasota and Manatee counties will head to the polls tomorrow to decide if more taxpayer money should go toward local schools. The outcome of tomorrow's election will determine whether teachers in Manatee County will get a raise and if students in both counties will get an extra 30 minutes of class time each day.
For a student in Sarasota County who has had that extra half hour in their K through 12 career as a student, they have received an extra school year worth of instruction.
If you want to be like Sarasota, conduct yourself like Sarasota. Reconcile your bank accounts, stop wasting millions of dollars, and stop managing by crisis.
Sarasota County taxpayers are already paying that property tax, helping the school district maintain a top state ranking. Voters will determine tomorrow if it will continue through 2022. Happening tonight, hundreds are expected to turn out to voice concerns about Sarasota's affordable housing crisis and out-of-school suspensions. The group is pushing for full implementation from the school superintendent and school board to help manage social conflict between peers. They also plan to press county commissioners to establish a fund to develop housing for those making less than $37,000 a year and to adjust codes that discourage affordable housing development. Time now to check our weather on this Monday with meteorologist John Scalzi. Kind of a foggy start to the day here on the Suncoast, huh?
In many places, visibility really dropped down there to close to under a quarter mile anyway in a few locations. So that was significant. In other places, not so much. It was kind of a patchy situation, but yeah, it's kind of a harbinger of some severe weather to come, perhaps, for parts of Florida. The moisture across the state is increasing rapidly, and there's already some incidents of some strong storms north of us today. Tomorrow, I think that's going to double down, and some places in the state of Florida could see tornadoes. Taking a look at the tower cam. There we go. Lakewood Ranch webcam showing, Lakewood Ranch webcam rather, shows that kind of cloudy start to the morning and foggy start in many places. Visibility at Lakewood Ranch down to a quarter mile on with the fog that built and then kind of lifted into some dense low-hanging clouds. Then a little bit of sunshine. Now clouds building back again. The little bit of sunshine helped to boost our temperatures, though, and we're now solidly in the 70s in many locations, even some upper 70s in inland areas. I think as we head into the afternoon, we'll probably top it off at around 78. Not much rain here, but still ongoing showers in North Florida, where they saw some tornado warnings warnings, as well as some severe thunderstorm warnings earlier on this morning. That's kind of died down just a little bit, and that area of disturbed weather has moved out into the Atlantic. But back to the west, there's another area of disturbed weather that promises us a chance of severe weather tomorrow. Small chance, but parts of North Florida have a significant chance. In fact, a likelihood of seeing some sort of severe weather. We'll talk about that in detail in just a few minutes, Scott.
Okay, John, thank you. Happening across the state, a Cirque du Soleil performer who died Saturday during a Tampa show, posting on Instagram earlier that day that he was performing an aerial straps act for the very first time that evening. Jan Arnaud fell about 20 feet to the ground while performing. Arnaud was taken to a hospital after the fall, where he later died. Cirque du Soleil canceled its final 2 Tampa shows while the company and authorities investigate how the accident happened, although it does appear to be accidental. Arnaud had been a performer with Cirque du Soleil for more than 15 years. Also out of Tampa, police officers shot multiple times and another officer injured while serving a warrant this morning. Tampa police say Walter Gizarorsky is facing several charges for making violent threats to his family. Police say when the officers knocked on his door, he started firing, hitting one of the officers. That officer is in the hospital recovering now. The other officers suffered just minor injuries and is expected to be okay. An 18-year-old is arrested for murder of a man last weekend in Palmetto. Deputies say Jacorian Lee and Tommy Brown got into an argument near Oakwood Estates on 21st Street East. Lee is accused of shooting and killing Brown last Sunday night. He was arrested yesterday afternoon without incident in Bradenton. In the ongoing effort for better security at airports, the TSA is experimenting with facial recognition technology. It was recently installed at the Orlando International Airport. The cameras engage when passengers step on assigned footprints, and if the scans are unsuccessful, the passenger is manually scanned by a gate agent. Technology is now being tested at a dozen airports around the country. Here's another way to get through the airport quicker. The Identigo mobile RV will be parked at the Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport. This allows travelers to enroll in TSA PreCheck. If you sign up, you won't have to take off your shoes or remove liquids from your luggage. Saves you a lot of time. The RV will be at the airport for the next 2 weeks. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a check of the day on Wall Street so far. And Richard, kind of a rough start to a new week on Wall Street.
Scott, I'm afraid you're absolutely right. The Dow at 1 point down more than 300 points, and the NASDAQ being the biggest loser. Every index we follow down at least 1%. Wow. Not a good way to start the week. No, indeed, not a good day to start the week, but folks, that happens. I frequently look at weeks from time to time, look at days, and when you put it all together, it really depends on where we're going in the longer term. But today, clearly lower. The NASDAQ leading the market lower. Let's take a look at the figures as they stand as of 11:30. There you see the Dow down at that point exactly 250 points, exactly 1% at 24,696.18. That on volume of 593 million shares. The NASDAQ clearly the biggest loser of the day, down 1 3/4%, more than 130 points at 7,351.58. That on volume of 904 million shares. And the S&P, yes, down 1.1%, almost 30 points at 2,722.11. Well, what's the problem? Well, Facebook, among others, is certainly the problem and led the whole technology sector, the NASDAQ particularly. Facebook has a big problem. Facebook shares fell more than 6% today. The company said that news came out over the weekend saying that a third party had gotten access to information on more than 50 million users. Is Facebook doing enough to protect its users? That's a question certainly being looked at. And was this information, believe it or not, in any way involved in the 2016 election? We'll just have to see how that plays itself out. Now, we're having something very special this Thursday. If you'd like to join us, it's called Conversations with the Sterns. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, whether it's the stock market, the bond market, international affairs, interest rates. Jeff and I are going to sit in our conference room and we'll just talk about anything you would like. If you'd like to come, it's Thursday morning of this week, the 22nd at 10 a.m. And to register, 906-2847. Again, 906-2847. And Scott, based on all the volatility we've seen, certainly how we started this morning, we may have a few people want to talk about those things.
I bet. We'll see you at 5 o'clock with closing numbers.
I'll be here.
Okay. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, how payphones, remember those, are still managing to turn a profit in 2018. And how divers found a shipwreck more than 100 years old at the bottom of Lake Erie.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
My name is Blake. I received a heart transplant when I was 2 weeks old. I play defense for the Red Hot Tornadoes. Sometimes my heart starts pounding like faster and faster as I go. I know I have someone else's heart inside me. It makes me feel happy because someone was generous enough to give me a second chance to live.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
My name is Stephen Campagna. We're Band Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured in an accident, whether or not it's your fault, your insurance company might be responsible for some of your expenses. So give us a call. We've got your back.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We'll be dealing with a lot of cloud cover today and a fair amount of cloud cover tomorrow as well. I think what we'll notice is the cloud cover will clear rapidly tomorrow evening after a cold front moves through the area during the evening and overnight. 73 degrees, our current air temperature. We have a dew point value high at 68. That's a significant rise in dew points over the last 24 hours, and I'm sure you feel it out there. As you walk around, you'll notice that kind of more humid feel to the air thanks to a south wind. That's going to continue on into tomorrow. And oddly enough, and it's certainly counterintuitive, but moist air filled with water vapor is lighter and fluffier than dry air. I know. And that lighter and fluffier air tends to want to rise a little bit quicker, a little faster. It's called an unstable air mass. That's what we have in place. It is itching to make thunderstorms. All it needs is a little kicker, and that kicker will come in the way of a cold front tomorrow. So we've got 68 degrees at 9 o'clock, and then as we head into the afternoon and evening, temperatures will probably top out around 78. We have a system back to the west. That system is going to be the little kicker in the atmosphere that will help get our showers and thunderstorms building. That little low pressure area back to the west and associated frontal boundaries will be moving closer to us. And even though we have some ongoing showers in progress in the northern part of the state, this is all part of a little upper level system that is rapidly going to move eastward. So the showers that you see up here are really not going to bother us all that much. Those showers are going to move directly to the east. We get a little cloud cover, but you know what? That's not the big deal maker. It has produced, however, some pretty heavy weather up along that area this morning. Panhandle, north central Florida has seen some pretty good thunderstorm activity. Our area pretty quiet. I don't expect to see much in the way of thunderstorms yet today. But as I mentioned, back to the west, that little low pressure area and cold front will advance in this direction. This will be the second system to move through the state in 24 hours. That line of showers will produce showers and thunderstorms, which will gradually drift into our area. That will produce the potential, a risk, a slight risk, of some severe weather for our area. A much higher risk in north central Florida, almost a 30% chance of seeing some gusty winds, some large hail, and possibly a tornado or two in north central Florida. And because you have a system like that so close to us, we're going to have to keep a close eye on it tomorrow, an eye to the sky, as I like to say. Those showers and thunderstorms will gradually be sinking southward, and probably the best time for seeing severe weather, or at least thunderstorms, in our area would probably be in that 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock time frame. So increasing clouds today, storms tomorrow, and then once that front moves through, some rapid clearing and some cooler weather. Here's your forecast. For today, beach and boating, not too bad. South wind at about 10 to 15, but that will be increasing as that front gets closer. It'll be gusty out here by tomorrow evening. 78 degrees for today's daytime high. Tomorrow, we'll call it a first alert weather day for the first day of spring. 70% chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm, and a slight possibility at some severe weather, mostly in the form of some gusty winds with thunderstorms and perhaps some hail. That clears out. We turn cooler. We get breezy both on Wednesday and Thursday as the colder air settles in. We get a few chilly nights in the 40s, and then over the weekend, we'll start to warm again. Back to you.
All right, John, thanks so much. In consumer news in 2018, it's kind of like spotting a unicorn, but apparently some payphones are still being used across the country, believe it or not. According to the FCC, there are 100,000 payphones throughout the country, and a fifth of them are still in service in New York. That's down dramatically since 1999, when 2 million payphones were still in place. Payphones remain somewhat of a steady business. The FCC says providers reported nearly $300 million in revenue in 2015. However, with rising audit costs and more low-income Americans turning to prepaid cell phones, the industry's future does look bleak. Plus, the place where millions of girls first got their ears pierced has declared bankruptcy. Claire is filing for Chapter 11 protection this morning. The tween jewelry chain says it will reduce its debt by $1.9 billion. During this process, the company will continue to operate its approximately 1,600 Claire's and icing brand stores in the U.S. A legal battle is heating up in the world of dating apps. The parent company of Tinder is now suing rival Bumble for patent infringement and allegedly stealing trade secrets. Tinder alleges that Bumble copied its swipe-based system. The lawsuit also claims Bumble introduced 2 features that were developed when a pair of Bumble's co-creators worked at Tinder. It's one thing that can affect your ability to buy a house or a car or even get a job. This is your credit report. ABC 7's Stephanie Webb joins us now with more on that. Stephanie?
Thanks, Scott. Well, March is Credit Education Month, and it's a time to get familiar with your credit report and just how much it can really affect your life. So each day this week, I'll bring you some tips on keeping your credit report in tip-top shape. First, whether you're buying a car, renting an apartment, applying for a job, all of those things go back to your credit report. So today, what exactly is on that report and how far does it go back?
Yeah, credit report is kind of like your report card for your credit, for your personal life. It has your personal information, your name, social security number, your current address, things like that. It also shows your public record. So it'll show your addresses for maybe 5 years ago. Maybe it shows your past job or 2 or 3 jobs before that. And also it shows all of your personal accounts, your credit cards, your loans, and also their payment history. So if you missed a payment 5 years ago, that's going to be on your credit report.
And now later on this week, we've got some tips on checking your report for free, what to do if you find a mistake on that credit report, and the #1 tip for improving your credit score. Scott?
All right, Stephanie, thank you so much. Let's get over to the kitchen now and say hello to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher, who's here today with Paulette Callender from Spice and Tea Exchange in Sarasota. Hi, Judy.
Hi there, Scott. Well, I'm really excited because Passover's around the corner and Easter's coming up, and you planned the greatest idea for both holidays. Tell us.
It's very, very simple. Different deviled eggs. So we're going to make a coastal, that's one of our blends that we make in the store that's primarily for seafood, but we use it as dips. We're going to mix that with the eggs, and we have a barbecued shrimp on top.
Wow, so barbecued shrimp for Easter. We have the beautiful pink peppercorn we'll work with for Passover. You're going to really enjoy this. And as always, you brought us some great ideas of what to serve for beverages and other seasonings. And I have to tell you, for stockings and Easter baskets, I always come to your store and fill the adults with these little spice packets. I love them. So stay with us throughout the hour as the Spice and Tea Exchange and Chef Judy brings it together for the upcoming spring holidays.
Motor Trend said the new Alfa Romeo Giulia is hands down the best sports sedan you can buy today. And named it the 2018 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
So Matt told me to meet him at 7 a.m. sharp right here. It is now 7:01 a.m. You think Matt would leave without me? Hey, is Matt here?
Long gone.
Long gone.
Just missed him.
Just missed him.
All done.
Mr. Sparky guarantees they're on time and the repair is free, so chop chop.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Matt, you started without me.
I finished without you too.
Rugs as Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Everyone's buzzing about Suncoast View.
I like watching the Suncoast View.
I like the Suncoast View.
The cooking segments, I love the recipes. The theater segments are terrific.
Join Stephanie Roberts, Linda Carson, and special guests on Suncoast View for hot topics, everyday issues, celebrities, food, fashion, fitness, and everything in between. Nothing is off limits.
They're just fun.
For smart, fun talk in the afternoon, watch Suncoast View, weekdays at 4 on ABC 7. Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
When evaluating the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, Car and Driver magazine said every crossover should be this good to drive. We agree. Rediscover your passion for driving at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The Edmund Fitzgerald is one of history's most famous shipwrecks, but thousands of other lost ships have been lost in the Great Lakes. And now a group called the Cleveland Underwater Explorers has discovered 3 more shipwrecks. Ben Caffey has more.
A Lake Erie treasure has been rediscovered. After nearly 30 years of searching, 2 divers found the wreckage of the Margaret Olwill, one of more than 8,000 shipwrecks in the Great Lakes.
We use sonar and other sorts of things, but it is looking for the needle in the haystack.
A piece of the Cleveland-built steam barge jutted 14 feet off the bottom near Lorain along a busy shipping route.
But the Buffalo to Cleveland to Detroit traffic 200 years ago was very busy.
While wrecks in clearer water are easier to spot, John McCarty says we'll never find most sunken ships.
Realistically, most of them are lost to the lakes.
60 miles of lake bed were searched before the Olwill was pinged last July. The wreck wasn't where expert divers expected to find her.
Shipwrecks, like a lot of things in life, they're never quite where you think they are. So there's historical accounts, newspapers.
Like this copy of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which carried the obituaries in 1899. 4 people survived the accident, but 8 died. The propeller was carrying limestone from Kelly's Island.
Uncovering something that's 200 years old is important.
Well, Lake Erie is the shallowest of all the Great Lakes, so divers don't have to go too deep, but they say visibility is often terrible at less than 1 foot. Let's get back to the kitchen now and check in again with Judy Gallagher, who's with Paulette Callender from Spice and Tea Exchange of Sarasota. Ladies?
Perfect timing. Which one are we going to do first, Easter or Passover?
Easter.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, so we're going to these are already hard-boiled. Of course, we all know how to hard-boil eggs. I always put mine.
But not everybody does, so tell us what you do.
Well, I do it the old-fashioned way. I've got the different gadgets. I still do it the old-fashioned way. I boil it, and then I do put it into an ice bath.
Yes, I think ice bath is really important. Stephanie Roberts from The View shared with us that for, I think it was $19.99 online, she bought an egg cooker. And
Some
so,
kind of, double egg cooker.
You know, and I have to tell you with Passover, our family, our cholesterol must have been so high because we ate egg salad almost every day.
Yeah,
you know,
yes.
and a matzah or something like that. So these give us different ideas.
And they come out perfectly. So with the Coastal, okay, this is our Coastal blend.
Do you want me to kind of mash these up?
Sure.
I love doing the mashing.
Yeah. Okay, and we're going to add a little bit of our Coastal.
And it's so funny that
tablespoon.
Because I just used this on fish, and I actually used it on chicken thighs the other night. I thought of sending you a little post.
A lot of these are so easy to use, and whatever.
Yes.
I use it with Greek yogurt just as a dip, or like
Love
you said, white fish.
the idea. Now, is this mayonnaise?
A little bit of mayonnaise, and then here's a little bit of yogurt. Okay.
I love that. So you get a slight tang in this.
A slight
well.
tang.
Okay.
And this goes in both recipes, but I'm going to add a little bit of mustard powder.
Oh, yes.
Because I like that kick.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's much better to use the powder than prepared mustard for something like this. It kind of solidifies with all the other.
And it's nice to always have on hand.
Right.
In case if you run out, you're in the middle of a recipe. So we can use different things. I have different pastries, bags to design, or even a Ziploc. You can do it as easy as using a spoon. If you don't want to get decorative. I've got an egg platter here, but if you don't at home, you can easily use something that's a bowl or flat and use these nice green leaves to add color, and it also is going to hold everything in place.
And to be honest, I'm going to eat it like a deviled egg taco. I'm going to eat the greens as opposed to the bread.
A little wrap.
Well, I think this is a great idea. Now we finish up with those. We'll come back in a few minutes.
Yes.
We'll top them off and we'll get going with the other eggs and find out what's to drink during the holidays.
Car experts and customers agree there's a lot to love about a new Subaru. Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's 2017 most trusted brand, best overall brand, and lowest 5-year cost to own. And Subaru Outback is an IIHS top safety pick for 10 years running. Now lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback for just $239 a month. Or get 0% financing with 0 down during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second Spin Mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
It is a really great time to ensure that everyone is aware of it, to have those conversations and to have an open door policy.
Local businesses are following suit, making changes to their sexual harassment policies after the Me Too movement, and there is still more to be done. I'm Alan Cohn. Local CEOs join us as we take it to the trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Coming up, will President Trump have special counsel Robert Mueller removed from the Russia investigation? Plus, what police are now saying about a string of bombings in Texas and why they may be connected, another happening today. And the new details we're learning now about the victims of last week's bridge collapse in Miami.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story today at 12:30 is the president preparing to fire the special counsel in the Russia investigation. The White House says there are no plans to remove Robert Mueller, despite a series of Twitter attacks. ABC's Serena Marshall has more from Washington.
The president back on Twitter, a total witch hunt with massive conflicts of interest. While he doesn't specify the special counsel investigation, it follows a half-dozen tweets this weekend. The White House tried to ease concerns last night, saying definitively the White House yet again confirms that the president is not considering or discussing the firing of the special counsel. But over the weekend, the president blasted sanctimonious James Comey and called out the special counsel by name for the first time, writing, "The Mueller probe should never have been started in that there was no collusion and there was no crime."
The entire thing has been a witch hunt, and there is no collusion.
The Russia story is a total fabrication.
I call it the Russian hoax.
The Twitter rampage started after the late Friday night firing of former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, 2 days before he was set to retire, jeopardizing his 22-year pension. Writing, "It was a great day for democracy." McCabe denies any wrongdoing. Mr. Trump's personal lawyer then called for an end into Mueller's probe of possible Russian meddling in the 2016 election.
It's getting under his skin. The Mueller investigation should have nothing to do with the McCabe firing, but you see now the president trying to lump them together.
In Congress, both Republicans and Democrats urged caution.
That would be the beginning of the end of his presidency, because we're a rule of law nation.
This would undoubtedly result in a constitutional crisis.
Amid new calls for congressional protection of the special counsel.
Sources tell ABC News that McCabe was interviewed by the special counsel's team and provided memos of personal interactions he had with the president. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
CIA Director Mike Pompeo is scheduled to meet with outgoing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson today at the State Department. President Trump announced Tillerson's firing last Tuesday, and Pompeo was chosen as his replacement. Pompeo will first need to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate, but he's already facing opposition. Republican Senator Rand Paul said Sunday he would take all necessary steps to oppose President Trump's nominees for Secretary of State and CIA Director. Vladimir Putin will be in power in Russia for another 6 years after winning today's presidential election with a projected 74% of the vote. His election win will take his rule to 2024, when he'll be 71 years old and obliged by national law to step down. But Putin has not groomed a successor, prompting speculation he may try to extend his power beyond this term. Putin was widely expected to win his fourth term as president with no meaningful opposition in the running, and his fiercest opponent, Alexei Navalny, barred from the race. Putin, a former KGB spy, has dominated Russian politics for 18 years, and he's already the country's longest-serving leader since Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin. New details today about the victims of last week's bridge collapse in Miami as loved ones continue to mourn. Police releasing the names of 4 victims: Rolando Fraga, Oswald Gonzalez, Alberto Arias, and Navarro Brown. A 5th victim, 18-year-old Alexa Duran, was identified by her family, and Brandon Brownfield, the 6th victim who police removed inside one of the cars over the weekend. Florida International University will hold a moment of silence this afternoon at 1:47 to remember the lives lost. An update now out of Texas, where there's been another explosion in Austin, the 4th in less than 3 weeks, killing 2 people and injuring 4 others. Federal investigators are on the scene today as the police chief says the 4 incidents may be connected. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the latest.
Another bomb rocking the city of Austin, Texas.
There was a loud explosion on the scene.
The 4th explosion in less than 20 days.
I don't understand why this is happening.
This entire neighborhood on lockdown. Federal agents and police sweeping the area.
This neighborhood is still being locked down right now for safety. We're doing this in overabundance of caution so that we can keep this neighborhood safe while we process the scene.
Authorities responding to a blast potentially caused by a tripwire, injuring 2 men in their 20s.
It's a real situation now. It's not, oh, don't touch any packages. It's like, no, seriously.
The latest blast comes 17 days after the first reported explosion just a few miles away. Police have now followed up on more than 700 phone calls about suspicious packages in the Austin area.
We're pushing the message out that we need every tip, every piece of information. However inconsequential you may think it is, that may be the one piece of evidence that we need.
Authorities are now investigating if last night's attack was a response to this press briefing.
Today that there has been an increase in the reward.
The blast triggered just 6.5 hours after the Austin Police Department offered $115,000 for any tip leading to the arrest of a suspect. Police worry these bombings are meant to send a message. Investigators say the bombs were made with nails and other metal pieces as shrapnel, and the fact that the bomber was able to move the packages without detonating them shows the suspect is highly skilled. Now authorities worry they could have a well-trained serial bomber on their hands. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
New at noon, 4 people are hurt after a head-on train crash in Kentucky late Sunday night. Officials say at least 3 of the injured have been released now from the hospital. Crews are working to clean up diesel fuel and vegetable oil that all spilled in that crash. The train caught fire after the wreck, but those flames have been put out. The National Transportation Safety Board is on the scene today to investigate what happened. And happening today here on the Suncoast, it's the last day to submit ideas on Sarasota County's Trail Master Plan. There are more than 800 miles of trails across the county, and county officials want your feedback on how they can make these trails safer, better connected, and more enjoyable. If you still want your voice to be heard, you can call the county by the end of the workday at 861-5000. Time now to check on our weather again on this Monday with meteorologist John Scalzi. And fog this morning,
yes.
Clouds this afternoon.
Right. Storms tomorrow.
Rain to our north.
So it's ongoing. Yeah, it is. It's not as strong as it was,
Right.
about 6 hours ago. But certainly, yeah, it's ongoing rain showers there. Slowly tapering off, I think, as we head into the afternoon.
Okay.
But that's not the system that's really going to bring us our rain showers. That's still back to the west a little bit. But this morning's webcam over Sarasota Bay, it was polar bear in a snowstorm. Now, granted, the camera that you're looking at here is kind of high up, so you're looking through cloud too, but because it was very low-hanging cloud. But nevertheless, it was certainly thick across the region, and you can see that fog kind of rolling in, limiting visibilities to a quarter mile or less in many locations. And as far as that repeating itself tomorrow, probably not. I don't think so, because I think we'll start to see some winds beginning to pick up by tomorrow. We'll look at temperatures that'll probably inch up toward the 78-degree mark, maybe a little cooler than yesterday. Yesterday we hit 80 degrees. I don't think we'll see that officially at the airport. Not much in the way of any radar echoes locally, but as I mentioned and Scott mentioned, there are some showers in parts of North Florida right now. It's really what's back to the west. You can see it kind of spinning around that low pressure area. That's what's headed our way and promises us a slight chance of some severe weather. You can see north central Florida's chance of stronger storms, though, is at about 30%, while ours only at about 5%. Top it out today at about 78, and then tomorrow the rain showers coming. We turn cooler. We'll talk all about that in a moment. Scott.
All right, John, thank you. In consumer news, emergency room costs are soaring. The Healthcare Cost Institute says ER visits averaged more than $1,900 in 2016. That's up more than 31% from 2012. The Institute says the hike was driven almost entirely by an increase in the prices charged by hospitals and also due to emergency rooms seeing a greater number of patients with more severe medical problems. And those patients are paying more to have access to advanced and pricey technology that's now being made available. Back to the kitchen now, check in again with Judy and her friend Colette from Spice and Tea Exchange in Sarasota.
So we're working on deviled eggs with a variety of seasonings. Now let's get to the Passover ones.
Okay, so this one is fairly simple. We're going to do the same. We're going to take the yolks out of the whites.
Okay, should I start?
Yes, if you want to start cracking up the pink pepper berries.
I'll show you that. So
yes, and remember, it's not a peppercorn, it's a pepper berry.
And what's the difference for our viewers?
It's just not a peppercorn.
It's not, so it's not as strong.
It's not as strong, it's much lighter, and it is grown a little bit differently too. We usually mix that with our 4-pepper blend, which we have our telecherry, you know, all peppers are not created equally.
Well, that's right. And this is better than if you're going for that real hit of spice that you don't want to in deviled eggs.
Right.
Deviled eggs are light and they should be left that way. And, you know, this is just fun that you can do. You can let the kids break down the pink berries and things like that, right?
Yeah, it's fun for them to get involved, and especially keeping it somewhat healthy. So I'm going to go ahead and add our chili lime.
Oh yeah, I love this seasoning.
So chili lime salt, which is nice on so many things.
Perfect. It really is.
Yeah. Fish. And then we've got our yogurt and a little bit of sour cream again.
Okay, so very similar to the other ones, but just using some different seasonings
spices.
and obviously omitting the shrimp. But for Passover, you could add smoked salmon on top of the egg,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Another thing that would be
on
fun.
This recipe.
Here's some mustard powder again.
Again, you love that.
And
okay.
this is something that's very unique, but it's going to add a really nice flavor, is vinegar powder.
I have never heard of vinegar powder.
Yes, so I used it to make salt and vinegar potato chips.
Oh, yum.
And adding it in different recipes.
Great idea.
We're also going to add our sweet onion sugar.
Okay.
So really some interesting flavors coming together. And they're all organic sugars. And
are those mashed enough?
They are getting there.
Okay, whoops, that means no. We only have 30 seconds, so I'll let you do the mashing. And briefly, while you're mashing, tell us about, you have a really good point about on the holidays of doing non-alcoholic beverages that can welcome lightness and healthiness.
Absolutely. So this is our Marrakesh mint tea. If you'd like to try it,
I would
is a
love
green
to.
tea. It's an organic green tea with mint.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's
the mint's
light.
going to go great with lamb, with your deviled eggs. Don't go away. We're coming back for a taste and a really good shout out for a special day tomorrow that we're all going to celebrate. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
I just had a very educational ride with Nina.
Did you learn anything?
Where do I begin? So all this stuff goes into a safety check.
Yep.
It's a long list.
It's important stuff.
Test the smoke detector.
Yep.
Check the breaker box.
Yep.
Meter the GFCIs.
Ground fault circuit interrupters.
Well, I knew that.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Nina, you make it look easy.
Thanks, but don't do it yourself.
Who's your guy?
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota for big savings during the spring sales event and shop the area's largest selection of 7-passenger vehicles. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or get off-road capability with the comfort of an SUV in your new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Drive away in a new Dodge Journey for as little as $16,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device. Now Now, your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 73-degree air temperature, dew point value of 68. It feels very humid outside. 100% relative humidity this morning. We had calm winds and fog formed in many locations. It was very thick and kind of reduced speeds on many of the roadways this morning in patchy locations. Now, I think as we head into tomorrow morning, we probably won't have that problem because the winds, which now are south at about 5, will probably be ticking up just a little bit, and that helps stir up the air and kind of remove the fog problem. We have a lot of low-hanging clouds, though. Those are not going anywhere. Those clouds will be around through tomorrow morning as we start to factor in a chance of showers. By 3 p.m., we'll get up to about 78, 72 degrees by 7 p.m., and by midnight, about 71. So temperatures are going to taper off pretty slowly because of all that moisture and cloud cover around. Tomorrow morning, a slight chance at a shower during morning hours, but really I think the best chance for rainfall across our region and the potential for any kind of severe weather, that might come in the afternoon, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, particularly 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock. We'll look for a temperature of about 69 degrees. So across the region right now, we've got this developing area of low pressure back to the west, frontal boundary extending down into Gulf waters. We have a warm front that kind of meanders and triggers a few showers, and we have a little upper level system that's also moving across the northern part of the state, producing some rain showers there. Some of these are pretty decent storms, but not quite as strong as they were earlier on this morning. Locally, we don't have anything going on, and in terms of any kind of rainfall, I think our rain chances are pretty meager this afternoon. Might get an isolated shower, but that would be about it. Area of low pressure spins around. The cold front continues to move toward the east. As it does that, showers begin to build, and by tomorrow morning, I think those would be some pretty good thunder boomers across parts of North Florida. Those will gradually want to sink southward, and as they do so, we'll factor in our chance of showers and a thunderstorm or two, and possibly a 5% chance of some severe weather as well. So increasing clouds, storms tomorrow, and then once that front moves through, we'll get some colder weather in here, cooler weather I should say, and some gustier winds as well. So the showers move through. I think by tomorrow we'll start to see a line of showers developing. That line of showers sinks southward into our area by the evening period, and some of them could be fairly strong. And by that I mean gusty winds, perhaps, as well as some small hail. That'd be particularly true in north central Florida. South wind at 10 to 15. Watch for those winds to increase as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And the forecast looks like this. Today, 78. Tomorrow, a little cooler because of the cloud cover and the rain showers. Good chance of rain, some of them strong. The front moves through. It gets breezy out of the north and draws down cooler air. And for a couple of days, I think we'll be looking at some chilly nights, maybe nighttime lows in the 40s. And then daytime highs struggling to make it into the 70s. Most of the days spent in the 60s for a couple of days. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll finally start to warm it up again, back to close to the 80-degree mark by the time we get to Sunday. But tomorrow's the one we'll watch. Of course, computer models evolve and change, and we have many of those cycles throughout the day. Bob will be in at 5 with an update on exactly what the latest computer models say in terms of timing and strength of this particular storm system as it moves through tomorrow afternoon. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In Health Smart, what exactly defines binge drinking? ABC's Kenneth Moten has her sobering results of a new study by the CDC that's looking to find answers.
17 billion drinks a year. That's the surprising number of beverages that U.S. binge drinkers down a year. In this first of its kind study, the CDC looked at statistics for 2015. The results are sobering. 1 in 6 adults binge about once a week. A binge, by the way, is 5 or more drinks for a man, 4 or more for a woman in a 2-hour span. Binging is more common in adults under 34, but more alcohol is actually consumed by those 35 and over. What seems linked to binge drinking? Lower education levels, lower income, and sadly a greater risk of cancer, heart disease, and of course liver failure. Dangerous driving, violence, and risky sexual behaviors also seem to be side effects of binge drinking. The CDC sees it as a major health hurdle. Drinkers can see it as a reason to cut back. With this Medical Minute, I'm Kenneth Moten, ABC News.
An innovative high school senior in Wisconsin is using a 3D printer to get a 3-legged golden retriever back on all fours. Born with only 3 legs, Gray gets around just fine, but his owner wanted to give him the feeling of being complete. A high school engineering teacher heard about the Golden through a puppy training class and decided to help. The challenge was passed along to senior Ben Brothrop, who designed and built the leg all with a 3D printer. With a few more tweaks, Gray will be able to use the new leg, which can even adjust to his height as he grows. Pretty cool. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how Marvel's newest Avengers film is already breaking records a month or more before it even hits our theaters. That story when we come back.
Let's talk about this plan of yours.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
It's time to take a road trip.
Burn rubber for Birmingham, where you can feed your need for speed at Barber Motorsports Park and Museum. Now this gets my motor running. Meet Iron Men. Hey there, big guy. And make a date with your 9-iron. Feed the animals at the zoo and the birds. Then enjoy the award-winning restaurant scene. Alabama has a road trip with your name on it.
Which one you gonna take?
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Invest in Kids is a $7.5 million project to build a new Boys and Girls Club in South Manatee County. I'm Caleb Grimes, and I was a club kid. It's where I learned important life lessons, leadership, integrity, responsibility, and baseball. Thousands of kids attend the Boys and Girls Clubs, and after years of use, their club is slowly falling apart. Help us invest in kids. Make your donation today.
Thank you!
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. Lots of different seasonings give you lots of options for the upcoming holidays. Paulette, tell us again what you made.
So we did a coastal seasoned deviled egg with a barbecue shrimp on top. So that's lovely for Easter. And we also did a pink pepperberry deviled egg with a vinegar powder, some mustard powder, and that's lovely for Passover. And again, you could do a little deviled egg bar with truffle salt, shallots, paprika, your chives.
Exactly. Now you have something special happening tomorrow, and this is a real happy event. So let's give a shout.
We do. About 5 years ago, the UN had sanctioned International Day of Happiness.
I love it.
So with all of the different things going on, we decided at the Spice and Tea Exchange to take part. Live Happy was created by Jeff Olson, and it's now the 5th year. So if you come out to the Spice and Tea Exchange, we're going to have raffles, tastings. We'll have different tea samplings.
It sounds perfect.
And we've created a wall. There's now 600 walls throughout the United States, and you can leave a little note, a kind gesture, say something nice, make something smile. Make someone smile and keep it simple.
Do that, but today, go to mysuncoast.com, get the recipe on the dining page, and remember, if you haven't signed up for our culinary newsletter, do it. You will be entered, and you might win a $50 gift card. I'm going to have some deviled eggs and shout it back to you guys.
Judy, thank you so much. In entertainment news, Marvel's Black Panther still #1 at the box office for the 5th weekend in a row. It's already brought in more than $600 million at the U.S. box office so far. Black Panther is the first movie since Avatar to top the box office 5 straight weekends, and the second fastest in history to make it to the $600 million mark, and it shows no signs of slowing down. Avengers: Infinity War is already a record breaker. The Marvel movie needed just 6 hours to break online ticket seller Fandango's record for fastest selling superhero movie in the first 24 hours of pre-sales. Didn't hurt that sales began just as the film's latest trailer hit the web. Avengers: Infinity War will open in theaters on April 27th. Finally, NASA has released 12 new images from the Hubble telescope, and they are, as you might imagine, spectacular. These images are part of NASA's Messier catalog, which includes some of the most fascinating astronomical objects observable from Earth's northern hemisphere. NASA launched the Hubble back in April of 1990, but its primary mirror, remember this, didn't work at the outset. Astronauts had to go up there, fix it, more than 3 years later, and since then, amazing photos like these continue to come back to us here on Earth. I think it's one of the most valuable things we've put into orbit in a long time, allowing us to see beyond, you know?
It's incredible, the amount of science that it has created.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again at 5.